There are stories that silence us, and there are stories that make the world listen. Katrina Balf did not scream. She did not criticize. She did not seek revenge. She told her story with the truth. And that shook a system that was accustomed to silence, to blindfolds, to fear. In that journey, she was not alone. There were silent hands holding hers. Just as Sam Heughan chose to stand behind the lens, not to steal the spotlight, but to keep the light for a brave woman. Katrina Bowden and the shocking confession. The truth, the pain, and the rise of a woman of courage. Katrina Bowden, the elegant icon, the irreplaceable face of the Outlander series, has long captured the hearts of the public, not only for her excellent acting talent, but also for her discreet and delicate personal life. But in an exclusive interview with the New Yorker magazine, the 45-year-old actress has shocked Hollywood by suddenly revealing a dark secret that she has kept hidden for many years. "I've been silent for too long," Katrina began, her voice trembling but full of determination. "But now I want to speak out, not to shock, but to free myself, and to speak up for those who have been treated cruelly in the dark." A door opens to the past, revealing bitter hauntings behind the scenes of cinema. Katrina begins to recount the time when she first entered the entertainment industry. An ambitious young woman, a former model and budding actress, she was only 24 years old, having just signed her first contract with an independent film company in Europe. And there, she met the most powerful man on set, a famous director and producer whom Katrina calls by one letter K. "He told me I had potential, that I could be a star in a few years if I behaved. But it didn't take long for me to realize what behaved meant. And it was disgusting." One night after filming, rapt Katrina was called to the director's hotel room for a private discussion. There, he made her a blatant offer, a leading role in a major action movie. In exchange for intimate cooperation? Katrina refused immediately. Just a week later, the role disappeared from her hands. "I felt disgusted, not just because of the harassment, but because of the way the industry covered it up. No one spoke up. People just kept quiet. Or worse, they thought it was normal, falling into depression. And a courageous journey to get back on track. After that incident, Katrina fell into a deep and prolonged depression. She withdrew from many projects, lost direction, lost faith, both in her career and in herself. But instead of giving up, she quietly prepared for a stronger comeback. Katrina began choosing her scripts carefully. She always has a lawyer or manager with her to every private meeting, and quietly supports young actresses through organizations that protect women's rights in the entertainment industry. "I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor, and I want that survival to matter." It was when she joined Outlander that Katrina truly felt like she was working in an environment that was respectful and safe. In the early days when she was afraid of having to film intimate scenes, the person who was always there to encourage and support her, no one else, was her longtime co-star, Sam Heughan. Sam Heughan, co-star silent companion. When asked about Katrina's sharing, Sam didn't say much, but his words were short, emotional, and full of understanding. "I always saw something in her eyes, an old wound. But Katrina is a warrior, and she deserves to be praised for that courage." A wave of support. From Hollywood to social media. Shortly after the interview was published, a strong wave of support arose in the Hollywood community. Many veteran actresses spoke out in solidarity with Katrina. Actress Julianne Moira wrote, "Katrina said what too many were afraid to say. She wasn't just brave, she was the voice of a generation." The hashtag #NowShallWeStandWithKatrina quickly became a global trend on Twitter and Instagram. Thousands of users shared their own stories, creating a new wave of awareness for women's rights to safety and dignity in the arts. Not hiding, but stepping forward. Unlike many who chose to retreat after shocking revelations, Katrina did not hide. On the contrary, she boldly appeared at public events, leading many campaigns to protect women in the film and media industries. A new fire has been lit, not only in her heart, but also in the hearts of thousands of people who were forced to stay silent in the dark. from fashion icon to symbol of truth. At the Toronto Film Festival, her first appearance since the interview, Katrina chose an elegant black dress. Not flashy, but her eyes exuded an unusual calm. When the reporter asked, "Aren't you afraid of being isolated after speaking the truth?" she smiled slightly. "I have isolated myself for many years, but that silence did not protect me from being hurt. Now I choose my voice. And most importantly, she is no longer alone." The spread of courage when one voice shakes the system. Shortly after the stormy interview, a wave of support from young female artists began to rise. Many who had worked with Katrina, or had just secretly admired her from afar, spoke out in thanks, and for the first time publicly shared the bitter memories they had buried. They were no longer alone. Among them, there were also new actors, those who once thought they were isolated and shameful cases. One young actress who signed only as SF wrote on Twitter, "I used to be scared every time I walked into an audition room. I remember the looks, the solicitations under the guise of career guidance. But thanks to you, I know that I'm not crazy. I'm not wrong. And I have the right to say no." Katrina isn't just telling a story. She's warning an industry, not content with sharing her personal experiences. Katrina is now working with an independent film studio, psychologists and sociologists, to produce a documentary called Behind the Curtain. The film will explore abuse and harassment in the entertainment industry through the accounts of anonymous victims, whistleblowers, and those who have stood by silently. "I don't want to expose an individual," Katrina said at the project's launch. "I want to expose a system, a mechanism that allows this to happen over and over again and then be forgotten every award season." Women in Film International Wi-Fi has invited Katrina to be its global ambassador and is proposing to work with her to create a mandatory code of conduct for all film crews in the UK, US, and Canada. These are concrete steps, not just slogans. Sam Heughan, friend, silent companion. While Katrina faced public pressure, gossip behind her back, and even alienation from some colleagues, Sam Heughan was always by her side, quietly but persistently. Many people in the industry were surprised when Sam turned down 3 big film offers, only to stay as assistant director on Behind the Curtain. He didn't need the limelight. He needed the truth to be heard. In an interview on BBC Radio 4, Sam shared, "I'm not doing this for fame, nor just for friendship. I'm doing it because I believe Katrina is doing the right thing. And whether Hollywood likes to hear it or not, they need to hear it." That public and steadfast support moved fans. They called Sam and Katrina a silent alliance for the truth. While not the romantic couple Outlander viewers had hoped for, they are a clear example of a humane and respectful friendship between 2 big stars. Hollywood, is it changing? The wave sparked by Katrina quickly created a domino effect in the industry. Many major studios, such as A24 Focus Features, Amazon Studios, have announced the implementation of new ethics screening procedures for all crew members. A digital platform is also being developed, allowing actors, especially young actresses, to report misconduct anonymously without fear of retaliation. Variety magazine calls this the Balf Effect, a wave of change stemming from a star who chose not to choose power, not to choose confrontation, but to choose to speak the truth. A new chapter, a new role. Many people thought Katrina would retreat after that shocking revelation. But no, she continued to move forward even stronger. Katrina begins to write a memoir, not about her brilliant career, but about the years she struggled in the dark, still believing in the light. "I no longer want to be a beloved character," she wrote in the opening chapter shared on Instagram. "I just want to be a storyteller. And this time, I tell the real story. No editing, no trimming." Katrina Balf, from TV heroine to symbol of a new wave of feminism. Not noisy, but persistent. Not destroying, but regenerating. The truth she chooses to tell may make many people uncomfortable, even angry, but it is the truth that needs to be told. Because it is the truth that can lay the foundation for a cleaner, safer film industry. where the younger generation no longer has to trade their dignity for a role. And if she had to choose the most memorable role of her life, perhaps Katrina would choose the role of a woman who dared to say what no one else dared to say and dared to endure to change the world. If this story touches your heart, don't forget to leave a comment below, because who knows, your sharing might help someone out there be brave enough to step out of the shadows. And if you believe in a cleaner, more humane film industry, share this video, because change starts with the smallest things.